Hello, hey, Brady Theodore here on YouTube, and I've got the screen behind me. You ever feel like this? Do you ever feel like this? This is sitting on your shoulder. Let's talk a little bit about stress, but before we do, go down, touch that bell, be notified about the next time that I come on to tell you a little bit about stress and how to relieve it, reduce it, wash it away. Now, let's dive right on in. Do you really feel like this? What do you see when you see the painting of the scream? I know what I always thought about it. It was horrifying. It was messed up. It just seemed like it encaptured everything that I felt. Anxiety, depression, lost, thoughts, emotions, scary, everything just a whirl. It's just hard to describe. Then I realized and I found out exactly what caused this. It's stress. Stress in your life, stress in my life. You know, just like everybody else in this world, these are tough, hectic times. 2019 is just days away. 2018 coming to an end. You're going to make resolutions. You want to change your life. You want things to be better. You want to feel better. You want to know where you're going, what you're doing, and how to get there. There is a way out. There's a way to get away from all of this. You know, stress just eats away at us, and we don't realize exactly what it's doing. I know for years, I just thought this was life. This is the way it is. This is the way it's always going to be. And I did not want this to continue on with this feeling of worthlessness, no hope, no desires, no dreams, just a total nightmare. So I turned to Google. You know, what else do? You go to Google, you go to YouTube, two of the biggest search engines in the world. And I started typing in stress, depression, anxiety. And you know what I found out? That the depression, the anxiety, it comes from the stress. Do you know where the stress comes from? You think it may be that driver that cut you off the road. You may think that it's that boss that is nagging on you from 8 in the morning till 5 in the evening. You might think it's your wife or your husband. You might think it's the kids. Yes, all of that is stressful, but that's not where the stress comes from. The stress comes from within. It comes from so far inside your body, it's just two little tiny pea-sized glands sitting on top of each kidney. Each one of these glands holds cortisol, a hormone that's released in your body during the fight or flight syndrome that we all have. You know, if a big giant bear comes running after you, what do? You're either going to fight or you're going to flight. Most people with a bear are going to flight. So what happens? That little adrenal gland, that little pea-sized thing on top of your kidney, starts shooting out a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is an enzyme that comes out, goes through your nervous system, through your bloodstream, through every organ, to your brain, and it makes your heart race, your blood pressure go up. It makes you breathe harder. It gives you a little bit of clarity in your mind about what to do, where to run to. The same thing happens on the fight syndrome. If you're going to stand there and fight that bear, you need some extra energy. The same enzyme is released in the hormone of cortisol. When it's released, your blood pressure goes up, you start breathing harder, your respiratory starts functioning faster, you get that little burst of energy to your brain, and you start swinging away or knifing away at that bear, whatever you need to do. both instances, cortisol is released. Now, this has been going on your whole life, ever since you were a baby. When you found out what, well, you did not actually find this out, it's built into our bodies, what the fight or flight is. And when this happens, the cortisol is released. Every time this releases, it just stays there. It takes you to that level you need to be. And then the next hour, something happens, good, bad, indifferent, the cortisol is released. Cortisol never really just goes away. Those symptoms of that function never just wash away and goes back to a normal state. It builds, and it builds, and it builds. And throughout your life, and it doesn't necessarily mean to the end of days, it means from the day you start to your 10s, teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way through. Cortisol is building up within your system at the cellular level. It's staying there. It's staying right there, built up. And it's damaging every organ in your body. Stress is the leading factor of the 6 leading causes of death: heart attacks, strokes, respiratory failure, let's see, keep going, respiratory failure, cirrhosis of the liver, accidents, suicides, depression, anxiety. All of this is building up to cause these problems. It is an epidemic worldwide. And in the US, it's worse than most countries, minus China and Japan. Now, the only way to stop this from continuing and even reduce the cortisol levels in your body is not with pharmaceutical drugs. Pharmaceuticals can mask the problems. They can mask any problem in your body. And I'm not here to cure, diagnose, or treat any illness. I am not a doctor, but I have done enough studying on my own to know that cortisol, the levels will stay high until the day that you die unless you do something about it. Now you can use herbal products to reduce the cortisol in your body. And the way this is done is through herbal extracts. There is a product now that has 10 adaptogens. Adaptogens are what they are. They adapt to your body. They go inside and they, number one, start reducing the levels of cortisol that's in your body and stored already. When that happens, it relaxes you and the stress begins to diminish somewhat. Now, when you go into that fight or flight syndrome, the cortisol that's released is not overabundant. It's not put on top of old cortisol. It's starting out fresh and new, and it's giving you a calmer effect. So now the cortisol is lowered, the stress is lowered, and what happens when cortisol is lowered and your stress is lower, the anxiety is lower. When the anxiety is lower, the depression is lower, or not as great. When these are reducing, you also start to sleep better. Now, when you sleep better, and I know that you're not, because if you were, you wouldn't be listening to me talk about stress and trying to reduce it. I know in my case, I was not sleeping well. I may get 5 hours a night of sleep. I'd lay down to get my 7, yet I know that I was tossing and turning, waking up in night sweats, getting up to go to the bathroom, and never actually hitting that REM sleep, that deep state where your mind shuts down, resets itself, and you wake up feeling refreshed. That was not going on for me for years. And with many people these days, that is not happening. You have to have sleep to re-energize your mind and body. Now, with the cortisol lowered, the stress lowered, anxiety lowered, when you lay down, you can actually go to sleep. You can hit that REM sleep. Then in the morning when you wake up, you feel refreshed, wide awake, ready to go. When this is all taking place, other things in your body start happening. It starts feeling better from the cellular level. Your body will go into what's called homeostasis. Your inflammation will go down. You're getting more rest, less cortisol, less inflammation, less anxiety. As the inflammation goes down, you're feeling better. Now your body's not overworking to take care of that hurt hip, sore knees, ankles, lower back, joints. All the inflammation is going on. Your body's not overworking to take care of those issues. Your body also is not overworking to keep your mental state in balance. Now things are starting to set up the way they're supposed to. You, within the first week or so, start excreting through the bowels, through urine, the inflammation. And within a matter of days, with the anxiety going down, the stress going down, the inflammation going down, you're sleeping better. Now you have more energy. Now you get up in the morning. You don't have to go grab that cappuccino or a latte or 10 cups of coffee to get moving. You actually wake up feeling like you want to move. And your days pretty soon don't look like a scream. You're energetic, you're moving, your mind is working better. You don't have all this jumbled up thoughts going on because you slept well. So many things happen when you lower the cortisol in your body. There's only one way to do this. Again, not through pharmaceuticals. Masking a problem does not help it. Alleviating the problem helps immensely. Lower the cortisol. There is an elixir out now that has 10 adaptogens, 10 herbs, handcrafted, handpicked in a proprietary blend that is then mixed together where you take only 2 teaspoons a day, 2 little teaspoons. And within the first day, you're going to feel this wave come over you where you feel better. Then within a few days, the excretion starts. Then as the inflammation is going down, the sleep comes. When the sleep comes, the energy comes. With the energy and sleep, the mental clarity and focus comes. All of this is happening daily. And then your body goes into homeostasis. You become the person that you are supposed to be. Now, I thought for years that I was the person I was supposed to be. Come to find out, I was not. I didn't eat right. I didn't sleep right. I ate. What else? I could not focus. I had no clarity on life. I had no sense of self-worth, well-being. I just didn't realize how bad off I was until I started taking adaptogens. 100% natural herbs. I'm going to show you right here. It's in this one little bottle. Right here. Solera. That's all you need. Shake it up. Mix up those little adaptogen molecules. 2 teaspoons in the morning. It's going to fix you right up. The screen will be in the past. To get this, go below. Follow the link. Enter your name, address, email. Free of charge. No credit involved. Just go in. Take a look. Learn about cortisol and adaptogens and what is in this little life-saving bottle. The wave of the future, folks. This is it right here. On top of that, This is Solera. There's also a Solera Plus. Solera Plus has D, or what we like to call CBX. This is not oil. This is, again, proprietarily blended, proprietary extracted from industrial hemp. It will give this 270% more bioavailability than Solera alone. That's the next one I am personally going to use because I want that little added extra kick. But this is not CBD. This is not oil. This is herbs, 100% natural. It will reduce cortisol up to 40% within days. Within 30 days, you're going to be feeling like I do, which is by far night and day from the way I felt 30 days ago. I implore you to just take 5 minutes, follow that link, take a look at what could be a life-changing experience for you and your loved ones. And that's what I have to say today about cortisol, about adaptogens, about this proprietary blend, new to the market in the United States and Canada at this time with worldwide rights. So within the next months, you will see this going worldwide. Please go below, touch that bell, be notified about the next time I come on, and learn about adaptogens. Learn about Solera. This right here, it will erase that little guy behind you. Come back again, join me real soon, and thank you for watching.